Good evening and welcome to Dover Motor Speedway for round 10 of the Garage Shop College Cup Series. Today, another group of individuals trying to race their way into and get that yellow banner to stay on their car here in the conclusion of the CIL season. Just two more races to go after this one here at Dover. These drivers trying to make their name into the playoffs. Myself, Josh, up in the booth, this time with Major Monsivice. And Major, we know it's going to be an exciting race, but is there anything else that we need to look for or keep in mind tonight?
What I think we need to keep in mind for the night is pretty much how Dover affects the tire. It's going to be very tough on the tires tonight, considering the banking is very large here. So I think that's one thing that's one thing we're going to have to look out for.
Yeah, I think that is, and we've said it just about every time we come here. In fact, this is the famous spot where one of us pulled out a tire on the broadcast and made a very strong point right there. But it is going to be very difficult for these drivers to balance their tires. Right now we are in qualifying, and right now we are watching Edward Sanchez from Baruch College, and that group is trying to put their way into the top 10 or so to start this one out. But yeah, Baruch right there, you can see a lot of drivers have already put down their qualifying times up across the line. It's a banker lap for Baruch right now, but yeah, Major, it's going to be pretty tricky as these cars go into the corner, and we can see just how quickly these drivers try and get in the corner, slow down in the middle, get that car turned. You can hear Sanchez on the gas right there, and back over there's a little crest almost the way you come off turn 4 and turn 2 here at Dover. That's what these drivers are going to have to battle. So one more lap to go. Oh, and loose from Baruch.
Oh,
That's
no.
not what you need.
Yeah, no, that's basically the end of his. That's basically the end of his qualifying. Tires are ruined now. You can't, unless he has one more to go. I'm not too sure about that, but that's really unfortunate. That's never something you want happening in your qualifying.
No, it isn't, and he does have one more to go here, but I don't think he's going to be up to speed. So that will probably be the official lap time right there. Oh, in fact, he's crossed the line and he's stopped there. So that will be the third lap is now counting. So that time from Baruch there will not improve, and I think that standing set that we see right there is probably what we will expect to see on the grid. But St. Clair College with a very fast time right there. Zach DeWale really making the most of his opportunity to get up to pole. Very exciting right there. So, yeah, that is totally going to be something to watch for. And, it's been a couple races since we saw the St. Clair car, fighting for the top two spots. But maybe that changes here tonight.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see if Zachary DeWall can keep those tires in check throughout the race, especially with the entire grid right behind him.
Yeah, and this was the result, or this was the way we got to the result from that driver, Zach DeWale, right there. So St. Clair College, and this is his run, and we can see that it is very tricky to get up on the banking. And how do these drivers come down to the green flag? It is a little bit tricky to get in this corner, and you want to drift up the banking. When we have new tires, we probably won't use a ton of brakes, but as the race goes on, and it is their time to read our grid, those are the final results. But I was going to say that the way these drivers race and drive the corner is going to change about every 10 or 20 laps or so. And it's going to be exciting to see how they battle. But it is now time for the grid for race 10 of the Garage Shop College Cup Series. Again, these drivers trying to find their way into the playoff finale. And your pole sitter is going to be St. Clair College's Zach DeWale, who is one of our onboard cameras tonight. So that should be a good show for all our viewers. P2 is going to be Clint Halterman in the distinctive purple machine going on right there for North Carolina at Charlotte. North Carolina State and the Wolfpack find themselves in third place, courtesy of Matthew Nordberg. Drexel University will roll off in 4th position. That is Jason Wallet behind the wheel of that 76 car. And Andrew Williams will find himself in 5th position for Clemson University. Wingate University's Brandon Schulenberger will be in 6th place to start this one, as Garrett Vitton from Arizona State will be in 7th. Dylan Godinez will be in 8th position, and Kent Hundley from Northeast State Technical will be in 9th position. 10th will be Nick Stockner from Clemson University, and Drexel University's Timothy Wilms will be in 11th position. Moving on down the order, 12th place going to be Jake Cummings again from Wingate University with 2 entries in this one. North Carolina at Charlotte and Spencer Brown find themselves in that 13th position. Robert Morris University and Tyler Klingensmith in 14th. Clemson in 15th, courtesy of Andrew Burrell and Major. We did follow along with Baruch College and Edward Sanchez, another one of our in-car cars, and that's going to be P16 for that driver. As these cars roll off, we know that Dover is not a short track, and there will be the green flag this time by. So a couple cars sleeping there on pit road, but no time for that, Major. We're going green this time by.
Yep. Gonna go green after this pace lap, and hopefully we'll see some very good racing tonight here at Dover Motor Speedway.
That's right. And back on board, we mentioned it that Zach DeWale is one of our on-board cameras. So there he is, getting that car warmed up, tuned up, and ready to go. Another on-board camera is Baruch College right there. He is locked in, and that's going to be an art. He's going to have to keep that car clean right there because it is going to be tough. But back up at the front, Zach DeWale is going to take this one, and he is going to watch that pace car pull down pit road. These cars, a very slow 40 or so miles an hour, even slower on pit road tonight. Watch out for speeding penalties and black flags, but suddenly here we come. Race 10 about to be underway. The cars get to the Geico restart zone. When is the green flag? There it is, and on the outside, a great start, and the first to the line for North Carolina at Charlotte and Clint Halterman. He'll dive into the corner, so we'll have to see there what iRacing thinks about that. But the rest of these cars are fanning out and trying to get sorted out as they go down into turn 3. Clemson University trying to make the most of this opportunity, and Dylan Godinez, that 808 right behind.
Yeah, that was a very good start from Clint Halterman. That was very quick. He was very good on the throttle there. Managing to somehow slip past Zachary DeWale.
And DeWale now in full chase mode. He's got a lot of time there, but he'll want to not lose sight of that because just behind we know that Jason Wallet. In fact, it's been a while. We know the next gen, one of the Daytona 500 winners, Jason Wallet, found himself in a really good spot all season long in the spring and did not find the luck that he needed in the playoffs. But Wallet is going to be a force here in this one if he keeps that car clean, and that's why this guy, Zach DeWale, needs to get up front and put the battle, and straight away, here we go. It's a battle for the lead, Major.
He's going to need to battle hard, but he can't battle too much because that's going to wear out the tires, and once those tires start going, it's not going to be very... He's not going to have a very good time trying to keep that fight on, as these tires do kind of... They kind of thin out just a little bit too much when you're battling this much, especially very early on.
Yeah, it's a very good point. Down in the quarter, now is the time. The 0-2 has decided he wants that inside line. Not a big battle from Clint right there. Halterman.
Lead.
And that is your new leader, Zach DeWale. He's on board and he is locked in. He has a great view out of the windshield, and that is all he sees. Clean track ahead. And that's how he's going. Look at these drivers. They get right in on these fresh tires, down to the bottom, about a groove off the track, and then almost down to the black apron again as he comes off. Big wiggle off that corner, and that's not even the biggest wiggle that we will see tonight. But if I look back at this train right here, look at this. Everybody is closing up just a little bit. Big train, about 8 cars there for the top 2. Actually, you can see on your scoring tower, probably about the top 8, all orange right there.
Yep. Some of the drivers starting to form a bit of packs. Top 8, right? Basically almost all together, really. But these Gen 4 cars are a little bit of a hassle to handle around here, especially on a very tight track like Dover. These things on the throttle, they do provide a bit of a kick sometimes when you especially smash that throttle, especially out of corner. That's kind of what we saw, that big one of those wiggles from Zachary DeWale.
We did, and there was another wiggle right there from Clemson University. That's Drew Williams behind the wheel of that 23 car, and a big wiggle right there, and through goes the 23. The door is open. The 76 looks to be up in the wall, and that's the pass done right there. And Dylan Godinez looks on, says, I'll have some of that.
Talk about a move and talk about some very good racing so far here.
The race is on between the 7 and the 808. That is Brandon Schulenberger in that Wingate car right there. He is trying to look on the inside. We are 10 laps into this, so these drivers are already going to be feeling those little reminders about the state of their tires. But no matter, the 7 to the inside, down on the apron, keeping the car really tight. That's not going to be great on the exit, and sure enough, advantage 808 this time by.
Interesting that he was able to keep it out on the outside, because considering, like, again, the throttle on these things are very sensitive. It's almost hard. And coming over into turn 3, we still got another battle going on.
The battle is on. Brandon Schulenberger just misstepped once, and now he's gone from chasing the 808 to keeping the 42 of Garrett Fitton at bay. Garrett Fitton, another one of our drivers on board tonight. You can see right there, you can follow along with us, or you can follow along with Arizona State and Fitton there on Twitch. And that's what it looks like if you go for a pass on the inside here at Dover, but doesn't look like, yeah, very, very good point of view right there from Garrett. That 7 car given no quarter, and why would you, Major? It's pretty early in this one, and you know, I think Wingate thinks they have the pace to continue on in that position, so why not a little defense?
Yeah, sometimes it's better. Sometimes it's better to defend than attack. Consider you don't have to you have to look out for the guy in front. It's very difficult keeping an eye on both, so might as well pick one and stick with it, pretty much.
There you go. And moving up through the pack a little bit, Edward Sanchez working on Robert Morris's Tyler Klingensmith. And a lot of these drivers, if they do not win their way into the playoffs, will want to point their way into the playoffs. And so Klingensmith, and Robert Morris University will want to have a good showing right here. But right now, just trying to get the feel at this Dover Motor Speedway. And it's pretty tricky to get it in. Depending on who you ask, Dover can be one of the trickier tracks to try and sort out. But what have we seen? Back up at the front, here we go again. Clint Halterman has stretched out quite significantly his gap over Clemson University and Drew Williams. And suddenly, North Carolina at Charlotte is looking for the lead, and not quite there yet, but the storm is brewing.
Most definitely. And now, pretty much, Halterman, he only has to worry about fighting DeWale. He doesn't have to worry about anything else. He can just focus on sticking with DeWale and just keeping an eye on his tires and hoping that Zachary just uses a little too much of his tires throughout the race, that he can just catch up just a little bit more and take advantage of it.
Yeah, it's a good point. And, we're here, Dover's pretty hard on tires, but also the some of the longer races and Major on the roadside, you are no stranger as well to some of those. So what are some tools, or what are some thoughts that these drivers have at their disposal to save their tires, to save their equipment, and be smart?
Some of the more common things to do on the oval side of things is just be entering easy on throttle, making sure you don't turn the wheel too much, because that hurts the tires just a little bit more, and just making sure your lines are just perfect, as clean as they can be, both on entry and exit, because you got to be smooth, and the tires like smooth.
That's a very good life lesson. The tires do like smooth a lot, and so that's what these drivers are going to have to sort out if they're going to continue on like this. But back up at the front, the battle has not cooled off it is still going on for St. Clair College right now.
The gap is basically down to like 0.2 seconds. Very close, especially on oval. River Road. This is going to be quite the battle to look at throughout as it develops throughout the race.
Yeah, the race on right now. This gap's stabilizing a little bit, but it is not cooled off with the ACC crew right here. Drew Williams is trying to get sorted out. It's full-on defense right now from an attacking Matthew Nordberg. And looks like right now, Garrett Vitton trying to sneak his way through beside Jason Wallet. And again, the advantage, where will this go? A great shot as these cars sail off into the corner, and they do sail here at Dover. Everybody sorted back out in line, but I'll tell you who is moving right now is that driver, Garrett Vitton. He is not waiting around.
No, he is not. And I think what helped him with that pass was that Nordberg kind of got into the wall and held up a wall just a little bit too much.
Yeah, and coming around turn 3 again. That's what these drivers are trying to get sorted out. Garrett Vitton is, again, trying to move up. He'll set his sights on North Carolina State. The battle up at the front continues, but the other battle that we see back a little bit is, again, Tyler Klingon-Smith now battling for position. The battle here of the Golden Banners. Drexel University and Timothy Wilms trying to work their way around that cow machine.
It's not going to be a very difficult fight, mainly because I think what's going through these drivers' heads right now is, I got to save these tires just to keep going, just to extend this stint just a little bit longer, and hopefully not cause any kind of accidents while keeping their tires alive throughout the race.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. You know, these drivers, you want to battle. It's the best thing you can do in motorsports, but you got to keep your car and again your tires. Even if tire wear is not the factor here, as it's about to be all on between these three drivers. Tire wear and tire temperature. It is possible to have brand new tires. Now, not on these cars at this moment in time, but it is possible to have tires that work well. But you get those tires too hot and you lose the grip. And we already saw at the top of the hour that track temperature is not very cool. 98 degrees is definitely, and anything above 90 degrees probably, you got to make sure you're not sliding the car around too much. It'll do that enough on its own right there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, the cooler the track, the better it's going to handle the tires, but even then, got to keep those tires alive somehow still.
And staying alive is this challenge up here for the lead at the front. Look at that, getting into the corner a little bit. So Halterman is going to have a pretty good run here. Oh, just touched the apron just a little bit. It's not what he wanted to do right there. That probably stalled his momentum, and Zach DeWale hangs on for a couple more laps. But in that distinctive, unique playoff paint scheme, North Carolina at Charlotte, and you can hear him, Major, pedal off the corner. He's in the gas. He's just feathering the throttle ever so slightly. Very low line right here. He saw what his opponent was doing, and he said, I'll try some of that. But I think that goes to show, Major, all these drivers right now are searching. The tires are beginning to wear. They're beginning to get very hot. Wingate University actually in pit lane. And so they are saying, what's the best way to manage these, and just where can I put this car? Where will it work on this track?
Sometimes the fresh set is all you need in these when the tire wear is just too much for you. But at the same time, the pit lane speed is very slow. 40 miles. That's 40 to 35 miles. That's not really something you want to be doing too often, considering, again, the pit speed. It's just going to put you that much behind. You got to pit with other people, especially on a short track like this. Even though it's a mile long, it's still going to cost you it's still going to cost you quite a lot of time.
Yeah, it will. These drivers will go down at least 1, maybe 2 laps here at Dover. And so they will be trying to have a little bit of opportunity for alternate strategies later, should there be a late caution or something like that. But drivers that are locked in right now. Zach DeWale, he has got that wheel sorted out, and he is doing everything he can. You saw him run a little bit off the wall going into 3 right there. He is trying to get that corner sorted out because he has got a hard charge in Clint Halterman. I say that, Major. I think the 07 just dropped back just a touch, but man, these drivers are not giving up.
They are basically right on each other's tails, even though Halterman is just a little bit behind. It's still enough to give Zachary just a little bit of fear behind him. Like, what's he gonna do? How is he gonna handle the track behind me? Just what is his game plan? Is he just gonna stick behind me? Is he gonna try to go for a pass one turn? What is his game plan?
Yeah, that's exactly what the cat and mouse game is going on. But I'll tell you who is on the prowl right now. Garrett Vitton continues to just not be stopped. This driver, we talked about, started a little bit down the top 10 and is now up to 3rd position, having just passed Clemson opponent Drew Williams. That driver is ready to go, and he's trying to move up. Now he's got his work cut out for him. That gap, about 3 seconds there on your screen, and we will continue to watch it as it goes down. And by the way, Major, for your strategy notebook, I see that looks to be about 2 laps is about how much these drivers are losing should they enter pit road.
Yeah, that's quite a lot of time to be losing on pit road, and now, at the very least, Vitton, he doesn't have to worry about pitting, or at least he doesn't have to worry about fighting people anymore. He can just kind of coast and let things go, just keep the tires alive for as long as he can.
Yeah, I think that's a very good description. He can go, and he's made his bed now. Those 2 drivers, both Brown and Schulenberger, they will try and do that. And very nice of Wingate University to have a couple cars in this one that they can play strategy with. Schulenberger and the other car that is Jake Cummings there for Wingate University. That driver is going to be on the primary strategy right now that all these drivers are with. And yeah, you can see right there, Matthew Nordberg is just trying as much as he can to run away from the 76 right there. The 76 we talked about did start up in that 3rd position and has fallen back a little bit.
Yeah, so it's falling back, especially on a tough track like this. It's kind of like a domino effect. You lose 1 position, then you start losing 2, and then suddenly you're almost all the way in the back, or at least in a midfield in like a bigger session. It's really easy to start falling back, especially, like I said, especially on a tough track like Dover, where the tire wear just kind of starts creeping up on you.
Yeah, and so we're riding along now with Brandon Schulenberger from Wingate. This driver took tires, came up pit road. I don't know, that might have not been a scheduled pit stop. I'm looking here, and that car probably came down pit road just to get some new tires on it and maybe buff the fenders out. That left front tire does not look like it is pointing in the direction that driver anticipates, but nonetheless, look at those last lap times. So the leader running a 24.8 right now. Jake Cummings making his way around Drew Williams there on the tower, but the big story here is those tires, even with the damage, those tires appear to be good for about a second. If you assume he was doing, everybody else is doing about 25 flats, 25 ones, it's about a 20. Oh, and a 24.1 for Schulenberger that time by, and so it's all right there.
Yeah, those, like I said, those tires can be really good when they're fresh, but the moment they start going, it's a lot rougher trying to navigate around Dover Motor Speedway, and especially when you're trying to fight the people on the lead lap. Look at him! Just look at him cut through these people.
He is flying forward and a little bit further back. Here you go. The battle between the 076 and the 20 rages on. But I'll tell you who we have not seen yet. Oh, here he goes. We just said there's the new tires. They're going by, and all these leaders are now seeing just how good those new tires are. But we have not mentioned yet Northeast State Technical. We do every week. That car has just major. It's got unmatched long run speed. And if we get a run more than about 20 laps, you know that 112 car is headed forward pretty forcefully too.
Well, if he's good at managing the tires, he can probably egg out just a few more positions, assuming people in front of him just start fighting just a little bit too hard and too much. So let's hope he's probably hoping that those are the cards for him. That way he can probably see if he can maybe squeeze out just a top 5, just a top 5, just maybe.
We will have to see. But here is a sight to see. North Carolina Charlotte comes down pit road. It is going to be a long, slow drive for Clint Halterman there to put 4 tires on that car. But car looking good, car looking clean. And that's what these drivers will need right here. But back up at the front now, alone is Zach DeWale. But I'll tell you who continues to march through. Kent Hundley is driving by these guys. He is coming here, and he's coming to the line. He's going to do so just alongside of Clemson's Drew Williams. Drew is on the outside, not too much to defend right there, so you can keep your momentum up on that high side. But Dover's one of the tracks where you can get the job done there on the inside. Even on Ward tires, it's not quite like the intermediates where we see such runs through the tri-oval for the drivers on the outside, keeping their momentum off that corner. A little bit of a slip right there for the 112, but down into the corner, that is Northeast State Technical up into 5th position.
All right, so maybe scratch what I said about him not having to fight people. Maybe not. Let's scratch what I said. He's definitely finding some speed on these almost 50 some lap worn tires.
Well, we've said before he's got the patience to make that happen. But Drew Williams and Clemson now taking their turn on pit road, and that will move up into 8th position Edward Sanchez, one of our onboard cars. So we talked about this driver really has to go ahead and keep it clean up to the front. Started in 16th position and major. He has cut through about half the field up to P8 right now. He's hunting down Dylan Godinez and Robert Morris as well behind him. That's Tyler Klingensmith we talked about in the Cal machine. But the 26 car in Baruch College doing a really good job right here, and that's the race they needed to run, and Sanchez doing a very good job with it.
Doing a very good job, and I just see him just giving a bit of a tap to the wall on the exit of 2. That's not something exactly you want to do. But considering a bunch of the people behind him are people pitted, let's hope that Edward can pull out a pretty good stop and get those tires where he wants them to go.
Yeah, and we are really going to learn a lot here about who gets to run long, so to speak, and will there be stuff gained? Yeah, look at new tires now. That's what do we got? 51 laps on tires for the 112, and probably about 2 laps on this 23 car. And here he comes. It wasn't even a race. Look at how hard those two used to be battling, North Carolina State and Clemson, but Nordberg right there in the 076, nothing doing, and Drew Williams off to the races right now. What an event. Oh, and a bit high right there, I think, for Matthew Nordberg.
Yeah, these new tires are definitely helping out on some of the drivers. Kind of what you want, pretty much.
Yeah, the tires are coming in, the car's coming in. Oh, big! That could have been a collision there between Nordberg and Hundley, but everybody seems to play nicely and get through that one. So squarely amidst, I'll call it pit cycles, since that's what we tend to call it here. But really, those are usually over a span about 5 laps or so. But cars have been trickling in and out of the pits for at least 10 laps, and that's only about half the field so far has come down pit road. So we've got a ways to go for sure.
Well, when you trickle into the pit lane, it's like with 1 or 2 cars, it's going to help a lot because you have all that clean air all to yourself, and you're only going to get faster and faster times by yourself. You're not especially when you're not behind someone else who's probably going like way slower than you.
Yeah, that is correct. And right there, you can see Zach DeWale. He's making the most of the opportunity, but he's got those cars in front of him, so he's got to kind of sort through that traffic. There goes, looks like a car with new tires around the outside. That is Spencer Brown. Oh, and here comes new tires on the outside. He said, no, get out of here with that. The 23 and the 86 is down. That's Timothy Wilms in the wall, but here goes Drew Williams just trying to make it through the bottom right there. All 3 drivers, 3 wide. Looks like the 65 was tight off that corner, and that was quite a sequence of 2 corners. So new tires and Drew Williams make it through. The leader survives. That is St. Clair College there, continuing with Zach DeWale to stay in the lead of this race. But a little bit exciting there. It was the 86 of Drexel University and Tim Wilms there. Oh, and trying to get down, but not quite on the apron. Can he get down? Will there be a lockup? Yeah, big lockup, and looks like he does it right there. And oh, the 42 missed pit lane right there.
Oh, that's,
very brutal.
Oh,
42.
no, that's trouble. That's
And-
big trouble right there.
Oh, and it looks like Garrett Vitten has in fact turned around. So that is not what you need right there. And we'll have time to go through it all. But yeah, a little bit of excitement right there, and a little bit too much for some of these drivers.
Just a little bit too much chaos right there. Going 3 wide for just a brief moment. That was, whoa. I think that might have caught or bitten off guard.
You know, it did, and I don't know if he was coming to pit road or if he was late there or if he was just worried that the 45 was going to come up. But there you go. Oh, it looks like contact with Halterman right there is not what you wanted to do either. But the view on board Garrett Vitten's car as he was coming to pit road, yeah, it looks like he was trying to get down, but it just couldn't happen. And then all of a sudden, you can hear him trying to step into it.
Yeah, maybe there was just a bit too sudden of a stop from the drivers in front of him, and just caught him just a bit too much off guard. And then, well, accidents sometimes happen, especially on Dover Motor Speedway.
Yeah, they do, and this is on board Clint Halterman. He's behind all the chaos here, running that low line. He sees what's going on. Actually, Kent Hundley as well, but Kent a little bit higher. And, he was trying to get a run there on the 112. Take advantage maybe of some of the chaos. And, yeah, Halterman with just a tap on that front end. Don't know if that will be too much. That looks like it bounced off. Wasn't too bad right there. That driver's side door has a little bit more paint on it than it did, but nothing that we can't sort out here. But nonetheless, that means that these drivers are on pit road right now. Everybody getting full service, so that's big because Major, those drivers that were trapped a lap down, they're going to stay a lap down. One of them will get 1 lap back, but there's a lot of drivers that are going to be 2 laps down. And that's going to be very tricky for everybody who is trying to succeed here and get their way into the playoffs tonight.
Yeah, no, being a lap down, especially when you know you have the speed to probably get back onto the lead lap, that's a little bit disheartening to say the least.
Yeah, I think that is as well. So we will kind of these drivers will catch up and come around the corner, but straightaway names that we don't normally see down there. Matthew Nordberg is not, and Brandon Schulenberger, Tyler Klingensmith, don't always see that +1 next to their name, especially this early in the race. Ooh, and there is a driver on pit road, Drew Williams. We just saw him coming down, so we'll have to see. I think he was on the lead lap and would have already pitted, so we'll have to see what the strategy is here for the Clemson Tiger. But yeah, in any event, this is going to mix it up big time.
Especially now that every driver has fresh tires, it's going to be a lot like the brawl we saw maybe on lap 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think so. And there on pit road, we also saw Garrett Vitten as well. He was trying to get that car sorted out, and there he is, a little bit disheartened with that performance right there, trying to get that guy dialed back in. But yeah, tough out there, and I don't know if viewers will appreciate, Major, how easy it is to do what we saw from the Sun Devil machine and kind of step back into the throttle here at Dover. And there is some property. Maybe it's the asymmetry in these cars. Maybe it's the banking on this track. But it is very easy to try and accelerate. I didn't even hear any wheel spin, but that car just turned right on Vitten.
I think I caught a little bit of a wiggle coming off the turn exit, but I think that might just be me. Just a little bit of a wiggle.
No, there you go. And they looks like right now, as it scores, according to iRacing, Kent Hundley is your leader. So those new to CIL and to Oval Racing will see that these cars, there they go. So we've gone 1 to green. We're going to go green next time by. And those cars are taking the wave around. So what that means is these cars are going to head all the way back around, and they will start on what will be the lead lap. So they'll get a lap back, but they will be starting behind. And look who's in that group from the lead. to looks like about 8th position is going to be Zach DeWale, St. Clair College. So that driver is going to have to march forward again. But back on top of the timer, we can see that he's going to be about 8th position or so on the lead lap. So not so bad if you're St. Clair, but not the caution you would have picked.
No, not at all. And you say Zachary DeWale is going to have to march. I think he's going to have to fight his way through the field, especially since they're all on they're all on fresh tires, including him. So I very much think he's going to have to push just a little bit more.
Yeah, and there you go. It's all on right there. Oh, it looks like Edward Sanchez a little bit slow. You don't want to spin the tires, but you will need to get up to speed there. I don't know if there was a missed gear there for Baruch, but he's got the battle now. The 07 and the 02 to his outside. Those two going to have to be in line, and there goes Zach DeWale. He will move forward just a little bit, but up at the front, the battle is for the lead. Kent Hundley, we know he's got the long run, but what about the short run? This will be the test right here. The 76 of Jason Wallet is going to look to the outside, and that's got to be a difficult mirror to look out of.
Yeah, especially with Jason Wallet just so close right behind him. Jason's probably going to put up a very good fight with, especially with these new fresh tires. Hits that cycle of caution.
Oh, and there you go. If it wasn't spicy enough, to the inside goes Wingate University. Look at those cars all looking for position. I spy in 4th place, Drew Williams from Clemson University. Big defense down in the corner. Hundley in the wall under the bridge. Drexel to the lead. They're going to take this one this time by. Kent Hundley is trying to stem the bleeding. He's got Wingate on the inside. He's got to lift just a little bit. And there goes Drew Williams, who will try and take that orange wheeled machine down below. Can Dylan Godinez get by? And you know what? It's exciting, but I say this is what we have seen. Oh, and a big defense, but Zach DeWale says no. And here we go 3 wide into the corner, and the 112 spotter has got to be beside himself right now. Zach DeWale with a power move to put those drivers 3 wide. He comes out on top, and we have seen that from Kent Hundley. He will generally stay out of trouble. He will let these drivers do what they need to, and that's why we interview Kent Hundley so much at the end of these events. But back up at the front, the 23 major is trying to go to work on the 007 right now.
Yeah, and just to quickly go back to Kent Hundley. Yeah, like I said earlier in the race, it's very easy for Justin to be hit with this domino effect of just losing positions over and over because they're just out of position all the time. And everyone's just like, I'm going to dive straight into the corner. And it's just, oh, what can you do about that? What can you do?
Well, that's the age-old, especially in road racing, right? Put your opponent in a position where the decision is on them. Whoa, look at Williams. He was in the corner. He wanted some rotation. I've done that trick as well, but I don't know if he wanted that much. He's kind of stuck right now beneath the 007. How much door are these drivers going to share right here? The 808 up into the wall. You heard it on your screen. 007 gives way. P2 will go right now to the 23, but back we have Zach DeWale. This driver right here is trying to get underneath. Can he do it under Wingate University? And Jake Cummings there in the 007. He is trying to stay on that outside right now, and yeah, he has got to be getting tired of these drivers sneaking by on the inside. If you've got new tires, the inside seems to be the place to be. There's not much of a race right now.
Yeah, like I said, the 02 of Zachary DeWale, like I said, he's very much fighting his way through this pack, just like taking up every single opportunity he can to push through.
He is, and here is Tyler Klingensmith from Robert Morris. These guys are out here trying to make their names heard, and they're actually up into 10th position. So moving in the right direction for Tyler Klingensmith and Robert Morris. Timothy Wilms in hot pursuit, but back at the front, Jason Wallet now giving way, and no fight at all there to the 23 car. Jason Wallet is another driver who definitely one of the more patient behind the wheel here in CIL, which again is why we see him up near the finishing order so much, and why he has that nice golden banner and coloring on his Drexel race car. But right there, he has got to defend right now from the 02 car, because that car is coming fast.
In my mind, 76 probably gave up that position, and I say as he goes just a little bit too wide and lets and that's Zachary threw him on the inside. Very good pass.
Yeah, we talked about DeWale had his work cut out for him to take that wave around and to get back on the lead lap, but he has done so. He is now chasing down Drew Williams, and you can see that the gap will be shrinking here. I assume we'll have to see the gap being 8/10 right now, but back up at the front, it is all on because Jason Wallet has a little bit to figure out. He wants to get a little bit of speed out of this car. Obviously, still a long way to go in this one, approaching just now the halfway point. And Drexel University is going to have to make sure that Dylan Godinez does not come up to spoil this party, because Dylan certainly could and would certainly like that.
I think the big thing that Wallet probably wants to keep in mind is that I need to keep behind. I need to keep behind Zachary. I need to keep behind him. I need to stick behind him. That way, I can keep the speed up, and hopefully that Godinez doesn't catch me off guard.
Yeah, that's the strategy for these drivers. Back up at the front, you can see that DeWale, I'll tell you what, DeWale has not totally pulled away from Wallet, so maybe Drexel there with Wallet behind the wheel. Maybe he's decided that, you know what, I'm happy to let this guy go. We're going to let him build the holes downstream, and maybe he can follow through. So not a bad strategy if you are a Drexel fan at this point in time, but that 0-2 car has got his work cut out. That gap now up over a second, so getting a little bit bigger. Drew Williams has really turned it on here as we get squarely into the middle part of this race. He has turned it on, and I will note that on your scoring tower, Arizona State University again goes for the alternate strategy right there. It would probably help if he was closer to the lead lap, but 5 laps down, Garrett Vitton going to try and get a little bit off sequence, put tires on that car, and see if he can cut through this field.
Yeah, and going back to the battle up front between Wallet and DeWale, I think at this point Jason's kind of thinking, hopefully that Zachary can just like pretty much close this gap, because if he can't close it, he's gonna have to wait a very long time until Williams starts just to maybe start losing a little bit of speed once those tires start to keep going and going.
Again, these drivers, it's so cool to see these drivers working their best against each other, trying to save their tires. You can hear them carefully rolling into the throttle as they get off corner exit. They look like they're battling so hard, but the brilliance of these students here at Major is they are saving a little bit of their tires. They are thinking about so many variables as they try and get through the middle part of this race. They try and battle one another.
Yeah, and that gap to Drew is slowly dwindling, almost like half a second between the three of them, pretty much. So it's definitely getting a lot. It's definitely going to be getting a lot harder for Andrew to keep the lead, especially with Zachary DeWale, who is pretty much the leader for like a good portion of the race. It's going to be difficult keeping him behind him all until the checkered flag.
Yeah, I think so, and you can see right there that it has been a little bit tricky. Lap 79, not a great one for Drew right there, but just by 1,000th of a second, those two neck and neck on lap times right now. But the important bit is that gap is getting ever so smaller each lap, and you can see up there on the tower, the gap is now under half a second. It was over a full second at that point, and so, yeah, Zach DeWale, we're going to have a pretty good race right here, because the minute that Zach DeWale catches the back bumper of that 23 car Major, he's going to have the 76 in his trunk as well.
You say that, but he's basically right there. He's right behind him already. Zachary DeWale really knows how to work this Gen 4 car to his advantage, especially on a circuit like Dover.
He is. He's making it happen. A big slide off of turn 4. He is working as much as he can to get that car forward. He knows that now is the chance. It's time to be aggressive. He's locked in. He's looking around. Will it be off the corner this time? Coming up under the bridge. A move on the inside. He has a look, but nothing doing this time by.
Yeah, I know. His eyes are straight forward. He's looking at that 23 like, hey, I'm going to need that podium. I'm going to need that P1 back really quick. Thanks. So he's definitely going to be pushing those tires really hard these next couple laps until he can somehow manage to find a way to squeeze past Andrew.
That is totally what is happening, and right on board you can see these drivers getting squared away. In fact, I don't want to say player 4 is entering the chat. I can't handle anymore, but here we go. To the bottom goes Jake Cummings. He's decided he wants part of this, and that 007 Wingate machine has turned on. And so right here, the 02 has got to make his decision, because about a 2 car lengths forward, but was about 1 car length with a car behind.
Things are getting real interesting tonight, especially with how competitive these two guys are. It's gonna be a lot for both DeWale and Cummings to sort of both fight and defend against one another.
Yeah, there you go. Kind of drawing his opponent down to the inside is Cummings. He'll take that line right there. So he's going to have a better exit right here, but can he make the most? Yeah, just the wiggle right there. That's the hardest thing that I've seen these drivers battle tonight, Major, is coming off turn 4. It's possible to set up your opponent, but it's really hard to get that car turned properly on the exit of turn 4, and that's where we see so many issues. If we come back under the tunnel, those cars are nose to tail.
Getting just a little bit of a peek of an inside, but you can't quite make that space. Just sort of having to pretty much just like stay behind this little train of cars as Cummings comes straight from the. I can't form the words. He's just going straight past.
He did power moves from that Wingate car. Cummings has decided no matter the strategy, now is his time to get up front, and why not? Keeping everybody sleeping here in the middle part of the race, he says, I am on my way forward. That is a big mirror full of Chevrolet.
This is that back bumper.
He does almost get to that back bumper. Down into the corner. It's an opportunity to look low. How much fight does Clemson put up right here? The 23 given a lot of room on the inside. The 23, I think, sees that this is inevitable right now, and I don't disagree. The 007 in Wingate University, new leader, lap 91 across the line, but smart from Clemson and Drew Williams to get back in line. Don't give up a lot of time and keep the other 2 drivers behind you at bay. Yeah, there goes Wingate University. And is this a defensive move, or is this a move for pit road? I think it's just maybe that was just a bit loose there from Wingate University. But this car, by the way, Major, the pocket is growing. We had 4 cars, and now 5th place, Dylan Godinez, has arrived on the scene as well. And lap car Garrett Vinton is trying to get by this whole group. So there is quite a lot going on, and we will need a wider lens on our camera.
If we get 2 more people, it's going to be quite the 8-player smash right here. Even though poor Vinton, he's all the way down in 16th place. I'm pretty sure he's still very much going to fight this. Like he's in the point. He's right there with them because he wants to believe that. I would too.
Well, he's got the pace, and these drivers we can again see are locked in. Zach DeWale right now, he is very focused. You see, a little twitch of the wheel right there. The iRacing and the Logitech keeping things interesting. We discussed a little bit earlier, Logitech, the GOAT wheel here. But Zach DeWale continues to keep those drivers at bay. A little bit further back, we know that Garrett Vinton is trying to get the job done right here. He is trying to stay a part of this pack, but unfortunately scored a little bit far back. But man, that is certainly a view out the windshield, and reaction times are very quick right now for the 42.
Yeah, I think Andrew's starting to maybe just worry just a little bit here because he's seeing all those cars right behind him. I think he's just praying he doesn't make a mistake, because if he makes one little mistake here, he's back all the way to he's back basically all the way to 5th place.
He absolutely is. Here's Vinton trying to work the inside. Wingate University has jumped a little bit out ahead, but that Ford Taurus looks to the inside. Is there traction on the corner exit? There is, and there he goes. Zach DeWale, probably pretty clever right there. That is new tires for the 42, so no reason to put up a battle right there. Yeah, same thing. 42 going to sneak by the 23. And that is the Sun Devils getting on down the road. So That is one variable that is starting to exit our equation here. But these three drivers continue to fight for just about everything they have. And a little further back, we cannot forget Dylan Godinez and Kent Hunley. Again, we talked about the long run speed. These drivers, wise drivers with good heads, they are going to make their way forward pretty quickly.
Yeah, and even though Vitten's not in this equation anymore, it's still a very close fight between all of these drivers right out here. Considering how it's like, what, 5 cars here. So any one of them makes a mistake except Kent Hunley. They're not exactly gonna be benefiting much from that mistake.
No, they won't. But back up at the front here, Andrew Williams and Zach DeWale, they will continue to have a little battle. And haven't, well, it doesn't slow down up at the front, but the battle is on for 10th position. And this is important because these drivers are trying to point their way in to the playoffs. And right now, Robert Morris University is a little bit up ahead. Tyler Klingensmith is a little bit up ahead. That driver is going to try and get sorted out. Actually stretching the gap a little bit from Drexel University behind. That's Timothy Wilms, who is trying to give chase as always. You can see Andrew Burrell as well in your screen. Does look like Northeast State Technical, if we were not confused enough, has come down pit road, so put them on the alternate strategy. Only one caution in this race right now. So we talked about the question marks coming into Dover with the Gen 4 car, Major, but this seems to be going pretty well for these drivers right now.
Cautions aren't exactly something you want, even though you basically get a free pit stop from it. But yeah, no, something like I said, cautions is something you don't want because you just kind of want people to be driving and not pitting. I'm getting my words mixed up now.
I was going to say the action is in full supply here as these drivers try and move their way around the banking. Dylan Godinez right here. Oh, here we go. Kent Hunley is going to merge into traffic. Drew Williams is going to be held up right there, and that is going to make things hard. Of course, Wingate University and Jake Cummings love this, but Kent Hunley really said, no, you guys are not getting past, and now he's got those fresh tires. He will be a little bit further down the order, 1 or 2 laps down there, but Kent Hunley is going to have an opportunity to march forward right here. And I think just 1 lap down. So when the 112 Major gets up around the leader in Jake Cummings, that will be the lead lap for that car, and he will have already pitted. So a very good position there for the 112. Meanwhile, nothing has changed. Zach DeWale still in the middle here of this Clemson and Drexel sandwich, and Dylan Godinez joining as well.
Yeah, it's a very close fight between these 4 drivers right here. One of them makes a mistake, they're have a good time here.
Yeah, the margin for error is null as these drivers really trying to figure out what each other are doing. So, you know, it's never too calm in these race cars, but these drivers definitely trying to figure out, if they weren't trying to figure out the short term and what each driver is doing around them, they also have to think about when each driver might pull down to pit road, how much fuel is in each gas tank, and when do I need to pit to get to the end. So these are all questions that these drivers are asking themselves.
Especially when they come out of pit lane, they gotta hope that they get a lot of clean air, so that way they can at least kind of make up that time they lost in pit lane. Again, because it's just pit lane is so slow. Again, 40 miles an hour. It's not, again, it's just really painful just waiting to get to your pit stop and heading out after you get your pit stop done and over with.
Yeah, and this is not like the tri-oval tracks where you have a lot of separation, a lot of grass between pit road and the racing surface. So when you're on pit road, Major, you watch those cars go by and by and by, and that's when you got to pay attention to your pit road speed limit, because sometimes that right foot does go a little bit further down and sometimes it goes too far down. But here we go. Clemson looks like they're pulling onto pit road. He got down early, so very wise move right there to get out of it early from Clemson University and from Drew Williams. But here you go. The battle is 2 now Drexel and St. Clair College.
What do you mean battle for 2? It's battle for 3 because Godinez is he's not as close as he wants to, but he's still right there. He's still kind of in the mix.
He is. Dylan Godinez, man, he is not lifting at all right there, and he's in a great spot because that's about where you want to be if one of those two drivers slips. And by the way, we've seen that drivers need to maybe leave themselves a little bit of room for any drivers that are diving down the pit road like that. So, yeah, good spot there for Dylan. But I say that, but Dylan, man, he closed right up on Drexel University. He is looking squarely at that golden bow tie, and suddenly Jason Wallet is in the middle with decisions to make. And look at these cars just moving around the track, floating through that corner. These drivers have their hands full right now.
Yeah, like I said, don't count him out just yet. And what did he do? He's right on the bumper of Jason Wallet as he almost gets right underneath him.
He does. Look at that, and down into the corner. That is Nick Stockner, the Clemson Tiger, as well. He's trying to have some of this a little bit down on the ticker, but no matter. We talked about these drivers see cars in front, and anything can happen. So you do want to keep your forward progress moving forward. But Dylan Godinez right there, he's trying to get it sorted out. Yeah, I don't know if he's, how aggressive he can be right there. Oh, big wiggle off the corner. That was not a move for a pass. That was just about how much grip all these drivers have right now.
Yeah, tire wear's definitely starting to rear its ugly head in with these drivers as they try to figure out how to drive new lines as the tires start wearing out more and more. You kind of gotta pray for another caution to come out, or just get some good speed in when you're coming out of the pit stops.
Yeah, and right now on board with Nick Stockner. You're right, Major. Sorry, those pit stops are going to be tricky as we have cars very widespread now. Cars on 2-lap-old tires, 10-lap-old tires, and I don't even know, 40-lap-old tires or something like that. Probably since our last pit stop there on, I think it was lap 60 or so. But Nick Stockner really liking that high line up. We'll see, can this driver get a run off the corner? Yeah, that looks pretty good. He'll have that car pointed straight and opportunity right there to go forward. So it is, we talked about it before we went live, Major, but there's so many lines for these drivers. Drivers could have equivalent lap times, but there is no one way to get around Dover Motor Speedway.
No, there isn't, but usually the preferred way is just tucking yourself in right on that apron, right as close as you can get, but not too close, otherwise you risk getting onto it and turning the car just a little bit too much, and you might actually end up ruining someone's race.
Yeah, and we know that apron is a little bit dangerous as well. So here it is. This is the biggest battle right now as these pit stops go in and out. These drivers making sure they don't leave anything on the table with their tire limits. That was Spencer Brown coming down to get his, I think it was third set of tires up to this point. But Drexel University and Jason Wallet, yeah, you can see right there, he slowed up in that middle of the corner right there and got a great run off. And you can see by the time he gets to that corner, he's about a car, maybe 2 car lengths extended right there. So add that to the notebook. Just, slow up in the middle of the corner. Sprint car drivers will love this one simple trick. And there he is off to the races and doing great. So if you're the 808 car, well, I say that, but there they go.
He just lets them through.
So maybe the 76 coming to pit road this time by, because that was very, very polite right there from the 808. So, or excuse me, from the 76. A car down on the bottom, that was Wingate University. I saw smoke, but I think he was just trying to get that car slowed up. And Major, I was incorrect. Maybe just letting the 808 go by, because, yeah, the 76 still out there.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta say, you know what, I don't think it's wise to keep fighting you, so I'm just gonna let you pie, and I'm gonna let you run your own race, then just stick behind you.
A very valid strategy indeed. And I'll tell you what, we're doing pit stops, but we can take a minute not to forget that the 007 is still leading this one. So Jake Cummings has popped out to the lead and has led a number of laps since he took that long ago, and has not looked at that gap now. 5 seconds is a crazy gap here right now with Jake Cummings and what he is doing behind the wheel of that Wingate machine. P2 is our driver, Zach DeWale, right now, who's again, trying to race his way, one of these golden banner drivers, trying to race his way into the playoffs with a win, else get in on points. And a little bit further down the field, we did talk about Jason Wallet in that 76 car, the Drexel driver trying to get sorted out. You can see Clint Halterman on new tires pass a little bit up your screen. And coming down to pit road, giving up that position is Zach DeWale. So from second position, he will come down and get that car wiggled down to a stop. Very tricky on the brakes for that driver, but that car down pit road. Walking through a little bit, that moves Edward Sanchez up to 6th, who is having quite a fine race for Baruch College right there. And I think he's got a lot of miles on those tires. So what that means, Major, as he comes down pit road now, is he will have those tires left over for a late race caution, should we have one. But that is that driver down into pits. So back up at the front, our leader, Jason Wallet. How about that?
Yeah, I caught it just like a few seconds before you noted it, but I was about to say Jake Cummings also into the pits to get deciding, you know what, maybe it's time to get on some fresh rubber, turn out some good laps every now and then.
There it is, and there he goes down pit road. Yeah, you want to get up to speed, but you got to wait until you get to the right spot. So coming off pit road now, Wingate University, that car will get up to speed. All 900 horsepower of it. And right here we see that Jason Wallet is back up. And so this driver squarely now, he's the last one to pit. He's got a big interval right now, 23 seconds over second place. But let's keep in mind, Major, that these drivers on new tires, and in road, we call it the undercut, but these drivers are chasing him down right now.
Yeah, and like you said, last time he pitted was on lap 59, so he's definitely going to be on a bit of a back foot, especially with the people on newer rubber.
That is totally correct, and you can see right there that Kent Hundley was kind of in that mid-section right there, lap 99, but yeah, the last yellow we had was lap 58, and so lots and lots of laps on those tires right there for Drexel. But back up the front, this is what we got. Oh, and in is Drexel University, so he will get that car in. Big lockup right there, Drexel University.
And I guess he also decided that now is a good time to pit, considering he has got no competition behind him, no competition in front. He decided, I got some from here. Hopefully, I'll use that to my advantage, I think.
Yeah, and here is the lead. It will shift around to Northeast State Technical and Kent Hundley. He will try and get the job done right here, but it's going to be pretty difficult because behind him on those fresh tires, we see Drew Williams and those orange wheels at 23 car. I don't think he'll have much of a struggle to get around, but we have seen crazier battles for the lead, Major.
Yep, we have, but hopefully, in his mind, that Kent Hundley might just slip just somewhere and he can take advantage of that. Just getting right onto the back of his bumper, getting onto the inside, ready for turn 3, and just sends it straight in. Look at that move.
Yeah, and I expected that car to track up the surface a little bit, but it didn't. That was just new tires were holding their ground, and so there you have it, the new tires and the undercut complete. Since we're in the mood here tonight at Clemson University, and the 23 car, Drew Williams, he is going to try to sneak around his teammate right there in Nick Stockner. 2 Clemson drivers on your screen, and Drew Williams now with an opportunity. And these drivers who have pit, Major, they've got fuel to the end, so this should no longer be a fuel mileage race. If you stopped within last 40 laps or so, 40 laps to the end. Should be plenty good to go, maybe even 50 laps. So that seems to be what we expect here. Kent Hundley there in second position. It moves on, and this will be one Jake Cummings, who has just figured out this car and this track. That gap right now is 6 seconds up to Kent Hundley, but we will track that with a lot of interest. And then who do we have in fourth position? Zach DeWale again. Trying to move his way forward. So a lot of, tell you what, passes on track tonight. That title has got to go to the 0-2 if he gets back up to the front before the end of this one.
and hopefully he can manage to work those tires just in the way he wants them, the right amount of speed and right amount of direction he can, so he can make up that lost time he lost in the pits.
Yeah, that's exactly what that driver will want to do. A little bit further back, Clint Halterman we saw involved in that very small contact with the 42 car in Arizona State, but that is a P5 right now. Dylan Godinez finds himself in 6th position, and he is trying to work around the lapped machine right now, the 076, and not much doing as Godinez sneaks by. Edward Sanchez continuing to have a great run. And yeah, very locked in. Again, started 16th and getting the job done on the low side. He will follow Godinez through the hole he made, and there he goes into turn 3. And yeah, I wonder if the 26 has anything for the 808 before we get done with this one. Back through the field, he's talked about Jason Wallet. He's trying to move a little bit down the order here and up the scoring tower. But again, 5 seconds off, and was probably one of the later drivers to pit right there, one of the last 5 or so. So that will probably not work out to his liking so much. But we'll see. We have seen big shakeups at the end before. We just saw the NC State machine, but North Carolina State and Matthew Nordberg find themselves right now in 9th position. They are sneaking through and completing the top 10 right there, and that's the 02 sneaking by. But Tyler Klingensmith and the Robert Morris University car. That car has had that 10th position locked down and defended all race long. Very solid performance, and that is the top 10. But yeah, back up at the front. Here you go. And then Jake Cummings is making his way through. 3 wide, Major. Oh, and trouble with Stockner.
Oh, no!
And that is Clemson and Kent Hunley right there in the 112. The 112, and oh no, we just talked about Klingensmith. But that was certainly one of the rejoins right there that we have seen. And oh, he's going up the banking. No, hold the brakes. All sim racers, if you want to go back on the track, go ahead and hold those brakes. But yeah, drivers. Yeah, obviously you get in that situation, Major. You're frustrated. You want to get back turned around, but you gotta do it safely. But yeah, nonetheless, man, what a move right there. And I'm afraid I'm not even sure what happened. We were following the battle ahead right here. This is the 112 coming out. I see the 124 right there. I see that this was where Jake Cummings got through and down into the corner.
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe the 112 just didn't get the spotter call for the inside car.
Yeah, I'm thinking he just didn't see him. He turns for the corner like he's not there at all. That's just unfortunate, to be honest.
Yeah, pit stops happening now, but here you go. So the car on the inside, you got this guy into the corner and coming down the track. Yeah, that was 2 cars coming together, boy. And yeah, there you go. Maybe we can watch the speed of the 124 as well. So the 124 looking like we're coming off pit road. So blending. There's generally it's not too scary right here, but Major, we get down in the corner, we hit the brakes. And yeah, the 112, I don't think the 112 was ready for that, or maybe he thought that Clemson was going to back out of that one. But in any event, the result, not what any of these drivers wanted. These drivers now get back to new tires. So we just said what could happen. That is exactly what could happen. So now we will see this late dash to the finish.
Yeah, and like I said, I just don't think he's seen him, and then to add for insult to injury for the Clemson machine, he just kind of gets tagged by Kligerman, I think. That was just very unfortunate for all 3 of them, really.
Yeah, it is, and I can see on that 112 car that fender's knocked out and that toe is knocked out of that Gen 4 race car, and you can see a little bit of damage on that 65 car as well. That's Tyler Klingensmith, who was having a pretty good race here before this one. So yeah, unfortunate bit for a number of those drivers, but they will come in, get sorted out. But back up at the front, man, we just tried to do a little rundown. Back up the front, it is Clemson's Drew Williams, Wingate's Jake Cummings, and St. Clair College's Zachary DeWale.
Yeah, we got some very strong contenders for all of them who are probably going to fight to basically the virtual stock car death with one another just for that podium alone.
Yeah, and that was pretty tricky right there for a lot of those drivers. But I'll tell you who is really looking at a good view out the window. He's going to have fresh tires and a good shot to the inside is this driver right here, Zach DeWale. He's going to have a good chance to get inside there and see if he can get inside Clint Halterman now. Or excuse me, Jake Cummings. Jake Cummings there on the outside. Was going to say that Cummings is pretty good at these restarts. So I was going to say like Halterman and like UNC Charlotte there in the back of your shot, he's going to have an opportunity to have a good restart on that outside. But nonetheless, St. Clair College is going to try getting sorted out. I see these drivers side by side, so it looks like, yeah, there go the wave arounds. So here we go. We are going green next time by.
It's going to be very much a brawl, especially, again, they're all on fresh tires, so it's going to be no holds barred for pretty much every one of these drivers as soon as that green flag waves down.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. 20 laps to go. You could talk about tire wear, but I don't think anybody is going to be playing with those tires. So we are going to see, if we can get 20 green flag laps, Major, we are going to see some proper battling fights going on right here. And it's all going to start with the control car, Drew Williams in Clemson University.
Yeah, the pace car's trailing. It's going to dive straight into the pits. We wait for the drivers to hit the restart zone. At that point, it's green flag runs from here, hopefully.
And there they're off. Oh, the big trouble, Cummings. That's not what you need right there. Cummings in the wall. We just talked about the restart. That will give a massive opportunity. It's all going on in the midfield, but that will give a massive opportunity to Zach DeWale. He is already right at the bumper of the 23 car going into turn 4.
Like I said, it's like what I've been saying. These Gen 4 cars are very tricky on throttle. I think Jake Cummings was just a little bit too eager on that restart and just kind of lost it as he tried to make his way past the start-finish line.
Yeah, these drivers are fighting right now for the race win here. It's the 10th round. Both of these drivers win, and any of these drivers with the yellow banners win, and they are in. These drivers are not in the playoff championship round right now. They can get in on points, but they would love to get in with a win here tonight. And Major, I cannot say every race we say there at the end is Clint Halterman. That driver is going to have something to say, I'm sure of it, before we get done here. But back up at the front right now, Zach DeWale continues to look for those Clemson Tigers.
Yeah, no, Halterman is feeling him in as Zachary DeWale just kind of smacks him to the wall just a little bit too hard. He just loses all that distance between him and Williams. That's not something, I don't think you wanted that. That's very unfortunate for him.
Yeah, very loose again, trying to get the most out of those tires, but they probably haven't come in yet. For any of these drivers, but the 02 did get really loose, trying to get all 900 horsepower down to the ground right there. Wheel spin in the wall, and that's the result. So Drew Williams, and again, and this will give Clint Halterman an opportunity to get by on the inside. Here he goes to the inside, and can Dylan Godinez follow suit right here? He sees that great big hole, but his momentum will carry him out to the wall. Under the bridge, these drivers go, and Dylan Godinez again looking to the inside.
And those wall hits they're just really putting DeWale on a bit of a back foot, because now he's at the mercy of Godinez Sanchez right behind him, as they all as they all form this one massive 4-car train. Did I say 4-car? I mean 5-car. Jason Waller is right behind Sanchez as he tries to get the pass, but just can't.
Yeah, it's all on right here. Just the slightest amount of damage, maybe a fender rub there on the blue and black Impala of St. Clair College. So that is going to be what Zach DeWale has to battle, as well as the rest of these competitors. Back down into the corner. Drew Williams is in his own zip code. He is stretching that lead out. In fact, we can see there, yeah, those times Actually, that is the battle behind. So, yeah, DeWale also not having a lot of green lap times right there. So,
on the inside goes Sanchez. Can he stick it? Oh, there's a bit of contact. He keeps the move done. He keeps the position.
he does keep the position. Look at that. Godinez will not be happy. That was a physical move from Edward Sanchez and Baruch College right there. That car has not run in the top 5 yet in CIL, whether it be bad luck or the summer schedule, but what an opportunity right here. And Drexel University now, Jason Wallet trying to get up underneath that driver. So that's going to be the pass completed for the 808, but back up at the front, my goodness, it is all going on here. And look who's in the middle. It's Zach DeWale, and he has got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, like I said, it's going to be a brawl, especially on these very fresh tires. It's going to be a while for them to wear out, but I don't think that's going to happen, especially with only 10 laps to go.
Yeah, and here you go. These two drivers battling side by side down in the corner. And yeah, Baruch just getting the job done there off the corner. So he is on a march forward right now. And Godinez right there looking on the inside, but Spencer Brown right there to take the spot away. And so, oh, big move into the wall right there for the 0-2. That's not what you needed.
Not at all, as they try to make a move on the as Godinez tries to keep the move on the inside, just barely keeping. Oh, they touched.
They did touch. There they go. Contact continuing into turn 1. Jason Wallet, he's going to try and come down the track there before the 007 can get back. We saw Jake Cummings up in the wall early on. And yeah, Wallet is not going to be very happy about this. So this is going to be a pretty tight battle. We just saw on Sunday a lot of drivers. And Spencer Brown, sideways. Can it be saved? We'll see. No, the yellow is out. The yellow is out. And we are going to put these cars together one more time. And who does not want to see that? That man right there, Clemson, is not going to be happy about this one, Major.
No, he's not. He had such a sizable gap to the group of cars behind him. I think this was the last thing he wanted to see compared to like something like maybe a traffic, like a lapped car getting in his way. This was, I think, in his probable worst case scenario.
Yeah, I don't think that he would have ordered that, but a time now to catch our breath, and I don't know if it will be a green-white checkered. I'm also interested to see, oh, contact right there under yellow.
Oh.
Clint Halterman, and it looks like Baruch maybe got into it here, was waiting to see if these cars would come down pit road. Maybe we can check that out in a moment, but these cars are getting all sorted, and yeah, so saving tires till the end. These drivers are going to come down pit road. And here they go. And so this will be the battle to see here as Edward Sanchez is in, and Baruch, and all the leaders are in.
Everyone's going in. It's basically going to be a sprint to the end. They need all the fresh rubber they can. Very much going to be a brawl right until the finish line, unless there's like some sort of accident that causes another caution flag to wave around. This is going to be a very interesting end to tonight's race.
Yeah, you know, it totally is, and I'll tell you who was the winner right there with all the excitement. Looks like Clint Halterman came out third, and it looks like Edward Sanchez will find himself up there in second place. And Zach DeWale, what is Zach DeWale doing? He had the damage, but is he still on pit road? The pole sitter, hence that first box right there. I think he's decided he knows he's at the end of the lead lap cars, so I think he's just waiting till that pace car comes around. We'll see him take off. And Edward Sanchez right there. But do we have an opportunity to check out that earlier? Yeah, now we see the lap cars coming down pit road, so they'll have an opportunity to do the same service that we just saw from the leaders. But right now, Clint Halterman and Zach DeWale did come off pit road, and he will be making his way around. So just trying to get that car cleaned up. So in fact, cleaning up quite nicely, I think. That left side looks good. The right side, still a little bit tough right there, but you can bet that he's going to be coming in around, and that we will have a green-white checkered at the end of this one.
More than definitely, and like you said, he's basically at the end of the lead lap cars. He's like, might as well get some damage fixed, get a bit more clean, more clean aero. That way, I can at least keep up just a little bit more with these guys and put up a good fight.
Yeah, and it looks like Baruch College there. Oh, with maybe a penalty. You're looking like some need to go back right there. You see driver Edward Sanchez not very happy right there, but yeah, those two came together, and look who we have on our screen right there. I take it back. The 0-2 looks like he's going to come down pit road. So very tricky right there for Baruch. But back up at the front, Major. If you're just tuning in to your first CIL event, this is a very common scene up at the front. Clemson, North Carolina, and Charlotte are the schools. Drew Williams and Clint Halterman are the drivers in the front row here, these Gen 4 race cars.
Yeah, and going back to that very quick with the 26 and the 155, they kind of got together on that caution lap, very beginning of it. I think the 26 just kind of misjudged himself and accidentally ran right into the back of the 155. That's rough.
That is not what you want, but here we go. We're gonna have 2 laps to get this done, so it'll be a green, white, checkered. Those are the flags that these drivers will observe. They go ahead and race their way, and you can bet that there is no quarter about to be given. And I'll tell you what, the 76 car, I would not count out the 76 car. Right here, we know that Jason Wallet is a smart driver. Drexel University is a good school here on the CIL, and they are very clever in how they conduct and finish these races. And with that, coming to the green, to the Geico restart zone, the outside specialist, Clint Halterman, will get a fine run, but not enough to be on the outside heading into the corner. Here we go, 2 laps to go. The drivers are on the 76 loose. The 76 is very loose. That will have consequences behind, but here we go. Clint Halterman, North Carolina at Charlotte, looking down the backstretch. Is it time to make the move? No, not yet. And so here we come to the white flag. This will be the final flag of the race. Clint Halterman right here. He is going to try and do everything he can to put that Niner Esports car around the Clemson University machine. Orange wheels rotating. There goes the 23 down into the corner. Who will get there? I don't know if they've got it. Clemson University blocking the inside.
No, trouble
in the back. But here comes Clemson University. They will win. Around goes Clint Halterman, and Drew Williams and Clemson University take their second win of Season 8 here in CIL. It was all on. The battles persisting there in the back. Those drivers, Wingate University completing the whole host. We will walk through the grid in a minute, but man, those are some drivers that are going to be breathing a sigh of relief. There you see Zach DeWale, a really good run up to the front. That is 3rd place for that car right there. And then Edward Sanchez, this driver here, yeah, with the penalty there assigned by race control at the very end for some of that contact. Probably a great race for them that just did not pan out there at the end. But the winner, Drew Williams, right there, and a whole crew of Clemson Tigers there on the front stretch. And wow, Major, that was quite the finish to this one.
Yeah, it was very much the finish I was not expecting at all. But then again, those kind of green, white, checkered flag finishes, they produce the most interesting results, I think. And then meanwhile, Clemson University students just having a bit of a party on the front stretch, just having a good old time with each other. Just happy that the race is over and done with, I think.
Yeah, a couple of those drivers, maybe the 124 we'll be looking forward to next week. But man, Drew Williams has got to be pumped. He was pumped when he was able to take home his first win of the season. And so, man, got past that first one, and we will have to see now. But these drivers continue to towel off and to get sorted out, and so let's go ahead, Major, and we will run through the final results of this one. And this will be a learning opportunity for even myself, everybody trying to keep up with the last late race shenanigans. So, what we covered here, Drew Williams and Clemson University, that Tiger finds their way to victory lane. Again, Clemson University and Drew Williams with a win here at Dover tonight, and that will be a ticket to the playoff finale for Drew Williams. He will join Ohio State University and Matthew Morton in 2 weeks' time when we go to Atlanta to settle this Gen 4 championship. North Carolina at Charlotte and Clint Halterman came up a very, very close P2, and Zach DeWale and St. Clair College finish out the podium. We will talk to those three drivers after this. Matt Nordberg and North Carolina State up and down all night, but the right place at the right time to finish this one out. P4 for the Wolfpack driver. Best finish for Nordberg and for North Carolina State this season. Baruch College and Edward Sanchez in 5th place, and Drexel University and Timothy Wilms in 6th position. Jake Cummings, we saw that restart, and it looks like that Wingate machine finished in 7th position. 8th position goes to Jason Wallet and Drexel University. Really good race, but we will have to check on what happened there at the end. Dylan Godinez with a really good 9th place position after fighting just about everybody all race long. Wingate University comes home in 10th as well, this time via Brandon Schulenberger. Robert Morris and Tyler Klingensmith came home 11th in this one in the distinctive cow car, and we'll have to see if they can point their way in next time out there, Robert Morris University. Clemson University coming home in 12th and 13th via Andrew Burrell and Nick Stockner. Garrett Vidden in 14th position for Arizona State University. The Sun Devil we saw up and down the field, but bringing out our first caution of the night. I think that was the turning point for Arizona State in this one. Northeast State Technical, we saw involved in an accident. Looks like they did not get that car back out on track, and it is 15th position at the end of this one for Kent Hunley. And Spencer Brown will bring that car home in 16th position, and that is for North Carolina at Charlotte. And that is the finishing grid tonight. But man, what a move from all those drivers, Major. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was definitely a lot of fun, especially. It was just very interesting in general.
Yeah, I think that was right there, but we have an opportunity now to talk to 3rd place finisher Zach DeWale. And Zach, it was up and down all race. Congratulations on everything right there that you were able to get sorted out. P3 was a pretty good shot right there, but walk us through your perspective.
Yeah, not at all how I expected this race to go after that first run. Honestly, I feel like if I had stayed out for another corner on that first caution, like before that first caution came out, I probably would have had a lot better shot at a win. But yeah, it was a chaotic race. A lot of fun. These cars were kind of all over the place the whole time. They started out pretty loose and then got really tight as the run went on. Especially after I smacked the wall on that last 20 to go. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Aside from maybe throwing away a good shot at a win, but we'll take it.
How exactly were you handling all the tires? Because the Gen 4s, they like to wear out the tires just a much sometimes.
Well, I like to think of myself as someone who can take pretty good care of my tires. So I was trying to be as good to it as I could, while not just letting Drew and Clint and Jake and them run away with it once I lost the lead. So it was really just about trying to be nice to the right front, and I knew that was going to be the problem as the car went on, because it was getting really tight. So just had to be good to the right front, and just try my best to keep the car clean, which worked until I got loose off of 4 there the one time.
Sometimes at Dover Motor Speedway it happens. Before we turn you loose, is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to after this performance here at Dover tonight?
Absolutely, yeah. Emily, Riley, Jordan, Emily's dad, everyone back at home, the boys back at the shop. brought me a fast race car. Just couldn't couldn't close it out today.
Yes, a lot of spectators don't know this, but it's not a proper motorsports interview if you don't thank the boys back at the shop. So,
Exactly.
awesome job for yourself and for St. Clair College. Congrats. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you, Josh. You too.
And that was very excited, maybe happy to survive Zach DeWale right there from St. Clair College. But it is now time to talk to second place finisher Clint Halterman. And Clint, we were on the edge of our seats right there for the last 2 laps, that green, white, checkered. But what did it look like out of your view? And just not enough at the end there.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring out the excuses, and I had damage from the from the last before that before coming to the pit road. I got ran over, got 25 seconds of damage, but no, it was just gonna be hard to pass regardless. I was thinking, I was hoping, I wish these cars could bump a little bit because I got right to Andrews, like if I could just give him a bump, I could probably get past him, but can't bump in these cars. Plus, Andrews raced me cleanly the whole time, so I would even try to bump him anyways. But yeah, I was trying to see if I could just get the run off the corner. Um, I've tried before on just to send it around the outside with at the end with new tires, and it just doesn't really work. But so yeah, I was just trying to get the run of the quarter, and just was sending it as hard as possible. Already got the win. Somehow was in second in that race. So yeah, I was just trying to send it.
And this is kind of a question I have for all the drivers. But how were you able to handle it? How did the wear affect you and how you drove?
Yeah, the right front was just getting killed the whole time. And my plan was just to drive it at about 80-90% just to try and save it, and I still wasn't wasn't saving the right front at all. And I don't know. I just couldn't really figure it out. I saw I think Jake Cummings and Garrett Veidt, and they were both doing a really good job on that first run. I saw them closing the gap in my mirror. They were a couple tenths faster towards the end of the run, which led me to pit early. I was thinking about maybe at that point I was trying to maybe see if I could get a 3-stop to work. Just why not try to do something a little bit different, because I wasn't saving the tires very well, and they were coming really fast, so I figured just try to do something different there. But yeah, the tire wears the right front wear was just crazy bad. It was really tight at the end of the runs there.
Yeah, I think we saw some of that from drivers. But Clint, before we let you go tonight, is there anybody that you want to give a shout out and a thank you to?
Yeah, just gonna shout out my friends and family for all the support, and shout out y'all for putting on this series and broadcasting it every week, and that's about it.
There you go. We appreciate you guys putting on the race that you did tonight. Really fun to watch. And Clint and North Carolina at Charlotte, congratulations. Enjoy your evening.
All right, thank you. You too.
Yeah, Clint Halterman, pretty happy with that one, I think. And you would be a major. He earned that second position tonight.
Yep.
But back up at the front, we can move now to our race winner, Drew Williams. And Drew Williams here from Clemson University. Drew, walk us through that race. Walk us through that green, white, checkered. Were you quite pleased when that caution came out with 10 to go?
No, I was livid with the caution 10 to go. I had 2 seconds on Clint. I was pulling away. I really felt like I had a good car. And the late caution, it felt like a repeat of Phoenix, where I was leading Clint and had a good setup, and then caution comes out and makes everything a whole lot harder. But this time, unlike Phoenix, we were able to pull together on the green white checkered. So I'm thrilled about that. Super happy.
And just to kind of ask you, how were you able to deal with the tire wear? Because a few of the drivers we interviewed already, they said that the tire wear was particularly bad on some of the, I believe it was the right front. How were you able to deal with that this race? How were you able to just deal with the general tire wear around
I
Dover?
I definitely had worse tire wear than the other podium finishers, so I compensated. I knew my short run pace was really quick, so I pulled off the undercut on the last long green flag run. I pit maybe 15 laps before everybody else and tried to just get track position. I knew passing here was going to be hard, so uh, yeah, just tried to play for track position rather than tires because I knew I wasn't going to be able to save as much tires as DeWale or Clint.
Well, it turned out to be a valid strategy with a good addition of luck there, Drew. So before we turn it loose, is there anybody that you want to give a shout out, thank you to tonight?
Of course, I want to shout out Clemson University and Orangeville Racing for helping me drive every single week. And I want to give a shout out to all the friends and family that watch and everybody else who helps us put on this great show.
Very good. Well, you guys put on the show for sure tonight. We were not sure until we came across the line who we were going to be talking to last in the interview room. But congratulations to Clemson, to Orange Wheel Racing, and Drew yourself. Awesome performance tonight.
Yep, on to Atlanta.
The focus really coming out there from these drivers onto Atlanta. He's already thinking about the next one, and where you need to be, what position you need to be in majors. So maybe that's how all the great ones think.
Yeah, sometimes sometimes you just got to shake up, even if it's a win, you got to shake it off and just start preparing for the next one that's gonna come around, because you'll never know how that race is gonna turn out.
Yeah, he does. Onto Atlanta. That's he gets to hang out a little bit on the August 1st race, but he's going to have a lot of work to do against Ohio State and Matthew Morton and whoever else wins the next upcoming race here on August 1st. That is next Monday. But as we cross the line here, that is the Oval Series here at Dover. Done. The Garage Shop College Cup Series that will be completed here. Clemson University and Drew Williams, they find victory lane tonight. If you enjoyed that, feel free to pop on over Wednesday night. Same time, the green flag drops at 9 p.m. Eastern, and these drivers will be doing battle on the roadside, mid-Ohio. And then back, turning left again on the ovals. We will find ourselves there next Monday night. There at 9 p.m. Eastern as well. So, from myself, from Major Months of Ice, thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.